right, so this is, as you can see, the testimony or transcript of Officer Melissa Saenz, July 18th, 2016. She was one of the LAPD officers who arrived at the penthouse in the East Columbia building on May 21st, 2016. So keeping in mind, you know, we're now in 2021. This is a time that this was taken when it would have been quite fresh in her memory, and they will ask her about that as we go along. So strap yourselves in. Here we go. Let's get through this transcript. Okay, so it starts off by saying, now I did skip a few pages. If anyone's asking what's in the first 4 or 5 pages above, it's basically like, is the recorder working? Is the equipment working? All of those things. So I just decided, you know, you guys don't really want to probably see that. It says, can you think of any reason, Officer Saenz, why you'd be unable to provide me with accurate and comprehensive answers today? Answer, I cannot. A question, okay. Officer Saenz, have you ingested alcohol any time in the last 12 hours? Maybe they thought they were talking to Amber with that question. No, I have not. Okay, do you believe, have you taken any medication in the last 12 hours? No, I have not. Okay, do you feel that you are of sufficient mind to answer my questions today? Yes, I do. Okay, Ms. Spector, very good. Ms. Burke, very good. I'm going to show you a copy of the deposition subpoena marked as Exhibit A. Okay, cool. So they're showing her a subpoena. Yes, she says she recognizes it. She's seen the document. She doesn't recognize the exact date. And I'm sorry, I'm paraphrasing here, but I'm sure you don't want to get into all the details of whether she saw the subpoena and signed it or not. Because she did. She says that she signed it. She gives it back to the court reporter. And then we get into the actual questions. Okay, so here it goes. If you'll just hand that to the court reporter. Oh, yes, no problem. Officer Saenz, let's start with where you're employed. Could you tell us where you're employed? Sure, I'm a police officer in the city of Los Angeles. I'm a training officer at Central Division. How long have you been so employed? 7 years. Okay, you look very young. Ooh, maybe someone's going to get asked that later. Thank you. In your 7 years, how, for many of those 7 years, have you been a supervisor or trained or someone who is a training officer? It's been 8 months. Okay. And in your capacity as a training officer, were you working in that capacity on May 21st of 2016? Yes, I was. Okay. And before we get there, could you tell us a little bit about your own training? Tell us about your training to be a police officer. Well, to become a police officer, we go through a 6-month academy where we get trained on various law enforcement subjects. After our 6 months, we graduate, we go on to our probationary period for a year. And after that, we get chosen to go to whatever division they need us within the city. And in your training, Officer Saenz, in the academy, did you receive training in the detection of investigation and detection of crimes suspected of DV? Yes, we did. Okay, and in your field training, did you receive field training in the investigation and detection of crimes of DV? Yes, we did. Okay, and in your capacity as an officer, would it be fair to say that you responded to dozens and dozens of calls related to the investigation and detection of DV? Yes. Do you have any idea of how many calls related in your 7 or 8 years of work as an LAPD officer? Ms. Spector chimes in and says, misstates testimony, witness. I honestly wouldn't be able to put a number on it. How many? Okay. They go back and forth, and it ends up being, they ask how many, roughly over 100. And she says, yes, over 100. Okay. Over 100. Yes. Okay, Officer Saenz, I'd like to draw your attention to May 21st, 2016, and a call that I understand from dispatch you responded to at 8:49 p.m. South Broadway. 8:49 South Broadway. They put the semicolon in there. Why? Do you recall that evening? Yes, I do. Okay, and were you on duty that night with Officer Haddon as your trainee partner? Yes, I was. Do you recall the dispatch call itself? Yes, I do. Okay, what do you recall the dispatch call stating or relating to you prior or relaying prior to your arrival at 8:49 South Broadway? There's an interjection there, but we won't worry about that. And then she goes on to answer. I believe it was a third-person caller that gave an address and just stated it was a possible DV incident at the penthouse and no room number, just a penthouse. Okay, and were you given any other specific details about what was being claimed? No, I do not. Upon arriving at the location, 8:49 South Broadway, could you tell me what you first did? Yes, I responded with my partner up to the penthouse to try to make contact with the possible victim or suspect. Okay. Before you got up to the penthouse, did you have any interaction with anyone downstairs in the first level of the building? I believe I asked the receptionist if we can get up to the penthouse, and I believe she scanned us up. But other than that, we did not. Okay, so prior to getting in the elevator, you did not have any contact with any man or woman in the lobby other than whoever assisted you in getting into the elevator. Correct. Okay, and did you travel in the elevator with Officer Haddon? Yes, I did. Okay, and was there anybody else in the elevator? No, there was not. Okay, can you tell us, Officer Saenz, what happened when you arrived at the penthouse level in the elevator and left the elevator? Yes, we exited the elevator and we attempted to door knock the penthouse, and we did not receive an answer. So we tried to listen for possible signs of DV, glass breaking, fighting, shouting, and we heard nothing. So we responded to the outdoor courtyard and we tried to make contact, tried to see if there was anyone outside. There was a woman in the gym, but it was obvious she was not related to the incident. So we responded back into the hallway and we were met by a gentleman, a white male. And the white male, could you describe his physical appearance other than male white? You know what? I don't recall details of him, just generic male white. He didn't look like he was under distress or anything. Okay. Did he give you his name? Do you recall? No, he did not give me his name. Okay. And what did he tell you, if anything? He actually approached us as we were walking back into the hallway and asked if we were here for a call. And we advised him that we were here for a possible DV incident. And he just stated, she's in my apartment. And I said, okay, who is she? He said, the one that lives here. So I asked him if he could explain to us what happened, and he didn't give us any details. He said, everything is okay, it's fine, and she's in my apartment with my girlfriend. And I said, okay, I need to speak to her, whoever she is. And he said, okay, just wait here and I'll go inside and grab her. So me and my partner waited outside. Okay, let me just stop there. Okay, slow you down a little bit. Okay, did you ask him to describe what had happened, if anything? Yes. Okay, and what did he tell you, if anything? He gave no details. Okay, he just stated everything is fine. Okay, when you say he said everything is fine, was he indicating that your services were not needed, or that everything was just fine and he was going to arrange for you to talk to Ms. Heard? You know what? My perception was he just wanted us to go, that he got it and had it under control. I see, but I let him know that we had to speak to whoever the female was. Okay, and did he say anything about what the nature of the incident was? No, he did not. Okay, you began to describe making contact with female, correct? He, the gentleman, responded to his apartment, which is across the hall from Miss Heard's apartment. Miss Burke interjects and says, excuse me, can we go off the record? They have a little chat, and the questions start again. Starting again, Officer Saenz, the gentleman you described, had he described to you this was his apartment? Yes, as I recall, he said, she's in my apartment. Okay, and had you had, prior to entering the apartment, you had the opportunity to walk the hallway with your fellow officer, is that correct? Correct. Okay, while walking the hallway, did you walk the full length of the hallway to see if you heard any sounds or any activity? Yes, I did. Was the hallway, did it have lights? Was it a lighted hallway? Yes, it was well lit. Okay, at any time when you first inspected that area to listen for sounds or to observe the surroundings, did you see any indication of vandalism, property damage? No, I did not. Did you see any broken glass or broken bottles anywhere in the hallway? No, I did not. Did you see any splashed wine on the floor or the walls? No, I did not. Okay, when you made entry to the apartment described as the gentleman's apartment that you had encountered earlier, did he open the door and let you in? No, we never made entry into that apartment. Okay, you never went inside the apartment at all? Correct. Okay, what happened when you got to the apartment described as that of the gentleman? He asked us to wait, he opened his door, he shut it, and I could hear talking. I heard voices. Did you hear what was said? No, I did not. I heard a female. It sounded like female voices, so I assumed it was what he said was his girlfriend and Miss Heard. Okay. After I heard the voices, I knocked again. I said, "Sir, I need to open the door." And that's when Ms. Heard came out with his girlfriend, and he responded to the hallway too as well. Okay, when you say you knocked again, how long were you left waiting when he first shut the door and when you knocked again? It was probably about 30 to 40 seconds. Okay, and then you knocked again? Correct. And did he immediately answer, or did you have to wait again? Immediately, one of the females opened the door and came out. Okay, into the hallway? I can't recall which female it was. Okay, and eventually, did you make contact with somebody you came to know as Amber Heard? Yes, I did. Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, showing you that it will be marked as Exhibit B. Do you recognize this person? So it's a photo of Amber Heard being shown to Officer Saenz. Yes, I do recognize that person. And is that person you came to know at some point, Ms. Heard? Yes. Okay, tell me, Officer Saenz, when Ms. Heard first came out of the apartment, did you speak with her? Yes, I did. And just for the record, the last question was, did I know it was Amber Heard? I didn't. The entire call, she would not give me her name, and I did not recognize her. I didn't know who she was, and I found out probably 2 weeks later. Question, okay. And I meant to see, if I didn't, who you later came to learn was Amber Heard. Yes, I later learned it was Amber Heard. Okay, because that was my understanding as well. When you first made contact with Ms. Heard, can you tell me, were you speaking to her directly or was your partner? I was. Can you tell me what you said to her? Well, she was crying and I asked her, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yes." And from her body language, it was very clear that she did not want to speak to us. She looked upset. So I asked her, "Do you want to go into your apartment so we can talk in private?" And usually, as a female officer, the females will open up to us in private. And she said, "Yes." "Can my friend come?" I said, "Yes." So Ms. Heard, her friend, and I went into her apartment. Okay, now, before you go into the apartment, Officer Saenz, did you have the opportunity to be close to Ms. Heard and look at her physically? Yes, I did. Okay, and you had the opportunity to observe her face and her body. Correct. To the extent you could see anything, do you recall what she had on? I do not recall what she had on. I don't recall if I saw her arms. I just know I saw her face. Okay. And she had no injuries. Okay, let's talk about that a second. You, as part of your training in the investigation of potential DV incident, I'm assuming you deal with plenty of folks who indicate that nothing happened when something happened, correct? Correct. And likewise, you deal with folks who indicate that something happened when possibly nothing happened, correct? Correct. Okay, in this incident, I am assuming whatever Ms. Heard was telling you, you were still independently investigating any indicia, any signs that a crime had been committed, correct? Correct. Okay, and part of the reason that you look at a person and look to see their physical condition is to determine whether there had been a potential assault, correct? Correct. When you first encountered Ms. Heard, you testified earlier that she was crying, correct? Correct. But that you looked at her face, correct? Correct. And could you describe, did you see any marks of any kind on her face at all? No, I did not. Did you see any signs of swelling or injury to her face at all? No, I did not. Okay, did you see any bruises or marks under either eye? No, I did not. Did you see any bruises or marks of any kind on her cheeks? No, I did not. Okay, at the point that you discussed with her speaking, you began to testify earlier that you went to another location. We just went across the hall. Okay. To where her apartment was. Okay. And is that where she said the incident has occurred? She never stated that the incident occurred at all. She didn't give me any details. Okay, so she just, who suggested they go to her apartment? I asked her if she would like to go next door. I asked if she lived there. She said yes. She nodded her head. I said, "Okay, would you like to talk in there?" And she said yes. Okay, when you got to the door, did she open the door? Yes, she did. Okay, and you went inside the penthouse? Yes, I did. Okay, and did your partner go inside the penthouse? He did after a couple of minutes. Okay. And who else went inside, if anyone, besides you and Amber Heard? Her unknown female friend was next door with her. Okay. And when you got inside the apartment, did you have an opportunity to see the inside of the penthouse? Yes, I did. Okay. Can you describe for me, was there a sofa located in the penthouse? Yes, there was. Okay. Is that where you spoke with Ms. Heard or someone else? Yes, she was standing in front of a sofa in the entryway. Okay. And as you were inside the penthouse, did you see any broken glass of any kind? No, I did not. Did you see any broken picture frames of any kind? No, I did not. Did you see any wine bottles on the floor or any broken in any manner? No, I did not. Did you see any spilled wine of any kind or any spilled liquids of any kind? No, I did not. Okay, and you had an opportunity to observe the various parts of that penthouse. Yes, I advised her when she refused to speak to me, I advised her that I would need to check the location to make sure that there was nobody hurt and there was no suspects. And she agreed, and her male friend pointed to us where we could check inside the house. Great. Okay, now, while you're still in the living room of the penthouse, am I correct that there is also a kitchen in that area? Yes, it's one large space. Okay, and did you have an opportunity to equally inspect that area? Yes, I did. And was there any shattered glass anywhere? No, there was not. Were there any broken bottles of any kind? No, there was not. Were there any broken picture frames of any kind? No, there was not. Was there any spilled wine of any kind? No, there was not. Or other liquids that were on the floor? Not that, or that you could detect. Not that I have seen. Okay, did you sit with Miss Heard at any point on the sofa to speak with her? No, I did not. Okay, did she sit at any time on the sofa while she was speaking with you? I believe after we checked the location, she sat down on the sofa with her friend. Okay, so we'll check back to that. Before you did a sweep or a check of the rest of the penthouse, did you have an opportunity to speak with Miss Heard when you were in the apartment? Yes, I did. Okay, could you tell us about the conversation? Sure. I asked her what happened. Opening question. She said, nothing. And she continued to cry. I said, who do you live here with? She shook her head as if she did not want to answer. I asked her, are you hurt? Do you need an ambulance? And she shook her head again. No. At that point, I asked her if she would mind if I checked her apartment, and that's when she said no. At any time during that conversation, did she say that she had been struck with any object or hit by any person? Ms. Spector interjects and says it's compound, and the witness says, no, she did not. And then it goes on. Okay, and did she say that she had been assaulted in any way by any other human being? No, she did not. Was there any reference to a verbal dispute at any time that she had had? I believe I asked her if she had had a verbal dispute. Often when victims deny any sort of physical altercation, I ask if it was verbal. Again, I got the same response. She just shook her head. She did not want to talk to me at all. Question. Okay, did you ever ask who her husband was? I believe so. I got no answer. She refused. Okay, to give me an answer, I mean. Okay, was she otherwise cooperative, or would you describe her demeanor as uncooperative? Ms. Spector, vague as to cooperative, uncooperative. During your encounter with Ms. Spector, same objection, witness says, I don't want to call her uncooperative, but she was not forthcoming. She refused to speak to me. She didn't answer any of my questions. I guess you could call her uncooperative. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Was there anything else she told you prior to or under you undertaking the sweep of the apartment? No. Okay, and did you ask her prior to undertaking a sweep of the apartment specifically if anyone had assaulted her? Answer, can you repeat that question? Had you asked her prior to taking a sweep of the apartment, had anyone assaulted her? Yes, I did ask her. And what did she say? Again, I got no answer, just... Okay, and then you at some point undertook a sweep? Yes. Okay, and you inspected the upstairs and downstairs of this penthouse? Yes, I did. Okay, and you went in all of the rooms? Yes, I did. Did you see at any time any signs of a struggle or vandalism in the penthouse apartment? No, I did not. Okay, did you see at any time in your inspection of the premises broken glass? No, I did not. At any time in your inspection of the premises, did you see any spilled wine of any kind? No, I did not. At any time during your inspection of the premises, did you see any broken bottles? No, I did not. At any time during your inspection of the premises, did you see any broken pictures or glass picture frames or wooden picture frames? No, I did not. Did you also undertake an inspection of other penthouses connected to this residence? Yes, I did. Okay, tell me about that. How did that occur? After we completed the sweep of the first penthouse that we were all standing in, the male advised me that the next door penthouse also belonged to Ms. Heard, and he walked us over, unlocked the door, and my partner and I did a sweep of that. Okay, penthouse as well. Okay, and could you describe what you saw in that penthouse? Yes, it was many racks with a lot of white clothing, and I remember asking the male, "Oh, do they sell clothing? Are they?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, they design clothing and jewelry." And I said, "Oh, okay," just making conversation. I said, "Okay." And I remember continuing upstairs, and we checked the whole loft, and everything seemed ordinary. Okay, in your entry to the place where they had described making jewelry and clothing, did you see any other people as you and Officer Haddon went in? No, we did not. Was the gentleman with you at that time? Yes, he was. Okay, when you walked into that area, did you see at any time any signs of a struggle? No, I did not. Having occurred, did you see any signs of vandalism to any of the property in that location? No, I did not. Did you see any broken glass of any kind? No, I did not. Did you see any wine bottles on the floor, broken or unbroken? No, I did not. Did you see any wine spilled on the floor of any kind? No, I did not. Okay, and you and Officer Haddon cleared that location as well? Yes, we did. Okay, after you cleared that location, Officer Saenz, what did you do next? We, my partner and I, responded to the original penthouse where Miss Heard was standing by. Okay, when you arrived back at the original penthouse, did you encounter Miss Heard again? Yes, I did. Okay, is it true to say that you had an opportunity to observe her face a second time when you encountered her? Yes, I did. Okay, and at this point, were there any signs on her face that you could see that she had any injury to her face? There was no signs of injury. Did you see any red marks of any kind under either eye on her face? No, I did not. Did you see any bruising on her face? I did not. Did you see any swelling of any kind on her face? I did not. And did you talk to her a second time? Yes, I did. Okay, could you describe for us that conversation? Yes, so I advised her that we had checked both of the lofts and or the penthouses, and again I asked her, "Are you sure you don't want to speak to me? I'll have everyone exit the room." She was still crying, and she said, "No, I don't want anything." I said, "Okay, ma'am, I'm going to write you a business card in case you change your mind. If you change your mind at any time, you can call us back and we'll respond." And I had my partner write out a business card, and I issued her one, and I issued her neighbors one as well. And that was it. I asked them if they had any questions. No one had any questions. The gentleman walked me and my partner to the elevator, and we left the location. Okay, before we get to you leaving the apartment, is it true that in your response to a dispatch of suspected DV dispute that you are looking for any probable cause to believe a crime had been committed? Correct. Okay, and in doing so, you are looking for evidence that a crime has been committed, physical evidence. Correct. And that includes injuries to the person who you are encountering, correct? Correct. Who was involved in whatever the alleged dispute was, and any signs of property damage or vandalism, correct? Correct. Okay, at the point you gave the business card to Ms. Heard, did you have any probable cause to believe that any crime whatsoever had been committed? No, I did not. Okay, at any time, did you tell Amber Heard that you believed a crime had been committed and you were willing to go out and arrest her husband? No, I did not. Did you at any time say any words to that effect to her? No, I did not. Okay, did you say any words to that effect to anyone else you encountered at the penthouse? No, I did not. And I'm assuming, whether Ms. Heard cooperated or not, if you had seen physical injuries to Ms. Heard, that would be in and itself enough to proceed with a further investigation of a crime, correct? Correct. And you did not proceed with further investigation of a crime at that point, correct? Correct. Okay, when you exited the apartment, did someone show you down from the apartment? The gentleman involved walked us to the elevator and we parted ways from there. Okay, and did you talk to anybody else before you left the building? No, I did not. Ms. Spector says, I have a few questions. Okay, and then she says, wait, cool. Okay, I think we have covered this, Officer Saenz, but just to be clear, at no point from the moment you received the dispatch to when you described you conducted your investigation, cleared the building and left Ms. Heard at the apartment and exited the building am I correct? At no time during that period where you are aware of either Amber Heard or that the matter involved Johnny Depp. Is that correct? Correct. Okay, and did I hear you say earlier that you did not know that this matter involved Johnny Depp until a couple of weeks later? Correct. Okay, no further questions at this time. Go ahead, Ms. Spector. Let's see what Ms. Spector says. Could I ask you a few questions? Sure. Question. You've been discussing this white gentleman that you were dealing with when you were at the building that evening on May 29th and May 21st. Do you recall approximately how tall he was? I don't. I do not recall. Do you recall if he was wearing any glasses? I do not. Do you recall if he had any facial hair? I do not. A goatee? I do not recall. Earlier, you testified that you spoke to Ms. Heard. Is that correct? Correct. Do you recall anything particular about her hair? I do not. Ms. Spector says, thank you. No further questions. Okay, thank you. And the officer is let go and they're off the record. So, wow. We did it. We got through all of that. I hope that you guys enjoyed that or got something out of it, maybe heard something you haven't heard before, or, just enjoyed the reconfirmation that Amber Heard really had no injuries, had nothing wrong with her. There was nothing wrong on May 21st, 2016, at least in a physical sense or in a legal sense, and there was no damage, there was no broken glass, all of those things.